Working in retail is never easy, especially when you have to deal with a bunch of crazies. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Retail. Our first tale is from Worth Sound 5325. I'm the assistant guest services manager for a semi-upscale grocery store. On this day, I was behind the service desk working on the schedule and answering the phone. I get a call from a woman who is clearly irritated off the bat. She requests to speak to the highest available manager. There was about 5. I could have chosen from that day, but I learned how to field some of these calls to keep them off my boss's desk, which she appreciates. Yes, ma'am, my immediate supervisor has stepped away to lunch, but I'm the assistant guest services manager. I'd love to try to help if I can.
Well, I just got home and read my receipt for the wine I purchased earlier, and I am livid, young man.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What seems to be the problem?
Well, I am not 88 years old. I wasn't even born in November. This was extremely rude of your cashier to make a joke at my expense.
At this point, I have to stop and think, what the fuck? Do I even have a cashier that would find that amusing? No. Wait a minute. Ma'am, did we check your ID?
No, because I must look like an old hag to you kids. I'm 34.
On your receipt, is the birth date listed as 11/22/33?
Yes!
I see the problem now. In order to keep lines moving quickly, we enter 11/22/33 as the birth date for anyone we believe to be over 28 years of age.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That makes sense. My checkouts at store name are always fast.
We try, and I'm glad you shopped at the store name today. I hope you plan to return.
Well, your potato salad is really amazing. See you soon and thank you. Click.
I feel like out of all things to make a complaint about, this has to be one of the silliest things. I mean, seriously, they do say if you look under a certain age at most places, then they're gonna ID you, and if they don't ID you, then assume they're gonna put in a birth date that gets past the computer check. This next tale is by Ghosty Grill. This was about 1.5 years ago now. I was watching Karen videos and it triggered this memory. For context, I worked in the Windows department of a large department store. On to the story. A woman made her way over to the clearance section of our window coverings. She scanned the shelves for a bit until bringing over about 6 of a specific type of curtain. I began to ring them in as she watched the total add up.
Wow, your system is wrong. Those are supposed to be $30 each. Why are they ringing up as $60? There was a sale sign.
Me with a brief smile and nod. I can go check that sign with you if you'd like, so we can make sure they aren't ringing incorrectly.
Yes.
We made our way over to the sale sign. It simply stated, sale, with a list of 3 different styles of curtains reduced to $30. Ah, I see the confusion. This sale only applies to the 1, 2, and 3 style. The ones you picked is 4 inches. I can't remember the exact names, so I'm just numbering them for this post.
I want a manager now.
I radioed my manager over. As soon as he arrived, she started to yell.
This is false advertising. Do you see this? This is ridiculous. I want these reduced to $30 as you are all trying to trick me into getting attached to this curtain and then selling it for more money than listed.
He stared in astonishment before gathering his composure and saying, "Ma'am, this is not false advertising. It is clearly listed on the sign which items are discounted to $30, and I know for a fact that the one you picked out is discounted as well. That is a $150 curtain you have in your hands now that is reduced to $60. It is simply not listed on the sign. False advertising would imply that the sign is presenting false information, which it is not." She ended up just throwing the stuff on the ground and storming out. My manager was defeated, kinda just looked at me like, what the fuck, and walked away to the back of the store. This is where I think it would actually be handy for the customers to read the signs that are posted, especially if they state sale on them, because there usually are terms. This next tale is from Mia Harleton. This was about 1 year ago, but it's still super vivid in my mind. I was working as a cashier at a craft store and a lady comes in to return some fabric. I ask her if she has a receipt, to which she pulled out a receipt that was ripped in half. For me to pull up the transaction, I need the barcode on the receipt. Of course, that was not the part of the receipt she kept. The cast is me, the lady, and the manager. Ma'am, do you have the other half of the receipt?
No, I ripped them so that they fit in my wallet.
Okay, well, I don't see the fabric on this half of the receipt, so did you possibly pay with a card? I can look up the transaction otherwise.
No, I paid cash. I expect cash back since I have the receipt.
Ma'am, it doesn't show me on the receipt how much you purchased this fabric for. I can't help you.
No, your policy says if I have a receipt, I can return it.
You have half of the receipt.
Well, how else would I get it to fit in here?
Shows me this little wallet slot she puts them in. I see other torn up receipts. Maybe fold them?
Get me your manager.
At this point, she's whispering under her breath how useless I am. Of course, like I'm the one that tore her receipt. Now, my manager has been working here for over 40 years at this location and seems to get a kick out of dumb Karens. Sorry, I can't return the fabric without a receipt or a credit card to look up in.
Well, how?
Maybe you should fold them instead of rip them in half.
Excuse me? But your return policy states...
Yeah, and for that to happen, you need the full receipt. We don't even know if you bought the fabric from here. Lady starts opening the folded fabric to try to see if there is our logo or something on the seamed edge which has another fabric store's name on it. See, that's why we need the full receipt. This isn't even our fabric. This is store this.
Well, hopefully they will do a better job at returns than you guys.
Not if you only have half of the receipt, they won't. She was a great manager. I loved her. I love the way the manager just already had all of her T's crossed and her I's dotted and basically just told the Karen exactly how it was, and then when Karen thought she could unroll the fabric to prove them wrong, well, she clearly failed. This next tale is by Pyromps. Greetings, fellow overworked retail friends. Today I bring you the story of a dear woman who was determined to get a product that I couldn't sell individually. Allow us to proceed. So I work at a big box store where I am the key person. I cut keys, whether it's regular house keys, auto keys, or general keys, I'm your gal. I have two machines, one that is super easy to use and one that's a little older, but still extremely trustworthy. It's about an average Tuesday morning, somewhat gloomy in my small corner of the world, and my keys desk has been somewhat busy. Everyone is out doing renovations and determined to get keys for their new doors and whatnot. Unfortunately, I'm moderately grumpy, but still, that retail chipperness. In comes our stars of the show, Customer 1 and his wife, Customer 2. They'd like some keys. Sure, no problem. I'm the wizard of keys. While my machine is aligning the keys and cutting, a woman has a little tag to add on to the key for the description that she pulled from the basket in front of my desk where the homes are for the packages of about 5 tags.
And I'd like this, please,
Customer 2 says. A few things. 1, I don't sell the tags individually, as one can guess, and 2, I can't cash out anyone at my desk. Thus I inform her of such and am met with a dead-eye stare.
But I want this one.
I understand, but like I said, unfortunately, I can't sell you that one. I believe someone pulled it out of its product packaging. The same dead stare.
But I want this one.
Ma'am, I understand that, but unfortunately, I do not have a product code to sell you that one, and can only sell them in packs. The largest sigh in the world, followed by,
but I don't need all of them. I just want this one.
Y'all, I nearly lost my mind and remember just staring at her, so confused. A happy ending. A customer behind her pulled the package that had them and told her, I'll sell you one for $1. As if sensing my complete and utter loss of emotions, this customer came to my rescue, though I'm unsure if it was technically allowed, and proceeded to buy the whole thing, selling Customer 2 her single tag while going off about how I couldn't sell her one of them. You'd think customers would just understand, especially if they're being told something by an employee, but then again, you've got that blank stare, so it just shows I'm sure a lot of people that encounter customer 2 get that blank stare. And our final tale is from Rambo Robertson's 20. I've been helping out at a friend's private game store the past few weeks in my spare time because they recently fired 2 of their staff that were caught pocketing money from bogus returns. The customers would return items that weren't bought here and give the employees a cut of the return. Both were arrested. Games were taken for evidence, likely stolen. Policy has always been returns require a receipt in any circumstance. The 2 employees would print out the receipts a few days prior, and later the customers would use them and return the product bought elsewhere. Old Register didn't have a new computer system that kept track of the receipts. It has since been replaced with a new system and new cameras. Yesterday, while I was minding the counter, I had a few customers come in with returns and the Old Register receipts. Both couples, both trying to return games that were still in the plastic and not opened. After checking the receipts, I noticed that they were dated for September 17th. They were trying to return FIFA 22. In my area, FIFA 22 was released on October 1st. I knew they were part of the crew of bogus returns. I probably should have called the police, but as I didn't have solid proof and I was currently alone, I decided just denying them was best. Both couples, of course, didn't feel this way. A fair amount of yelling, cussing, blaming, threatening lawsuits, and eventually trying to bribe me with $7 per game. I asked for a contact number so my friend, the owner, may be able to come to an arrangement with the police. As I picked up the phone in the back for a moment, they quickly left. They spooked after I asked for their contact info. Cameras show nothing else was taken, and the neighbor's building caught their license plates. So hopefully with a bit of luck from the police, we'll get to see them at the sentencing as well. I love how these people just go about business as usual even if the person they're normally dealing with isn't there to run their scam. I'm glad that you told them exactly how it was, and it's funny that they left because I think at the end, they knew they were wrong. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Retail. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.